Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and I wanted to chat with you guys about, can a relationship or a marriage be saved after one of you guys have cheated? Who did it? Which one of you? All right, guys, now listen. This is one of those topics where it requires a lot of transparency because it can go off in so many different directions. All right. First and foremost, none of you guys, none of us should be cheating, period. But it happened, right? Do you feel a relationship can recover from a person who cheated? All right, so here's a few things. And again, this is all my opinion. I would love to hear yours in the comment section. Here's my thing. I see it in two ways, right? I say yes and I say no. Okay. I say yes, right? Because I believe if two individuals fully forgive each other and do the work necessary, let it be counseling, let it be whatever your work may be to really get it back on track. And this is where this what I'm about to say now is why I would say no for me. If the person who was on the receiving end never brings it up again. Ooh, child. Okay. Because when you go to counseling, they will tell you, like, okay, if you're going to accept this apology, right? If you're going to forgive this person, you cannot move forward by bringing it up. You're going to have to release it, let it go. Honey child, let me tell you, your girl going to need some prayer in that area, because there's no way in the world that I'm not going to be able to bring it up. So rather than I continue to make you miserable and slap you in your sleep because I'm having a flashback, it's best for me just to release you for my peace of mind and for your well-being. Because I can sit here and say, okay, counselor, okay, I'm never going to bring it up. Child, crickets. But all right. Now, I will say this. I have experienced this, and I tried to move forward, in my relationship when, my ex stepped out, right? So I thought, of course, I mean, I left for like 6 months, and then eventually we got back together. I thought, it could work because, he made all these necessary changes. He went to counseling. He went to his pastor. Honey, when they cheat, they start doing any and everything to prove their love to get you back. So I left for like 6 months, and then eventually, we got back together, and, of course he did great, going forward, but I just couldn't shake it. Every other argument, I was bringing it back up. I was waking him up in the middle of his sleep, just having a flashback, wanting to argue. Like, I couldn't shake it. So eventually, of course, the relationship, tumbled, and I left. But that's why I think it's so important. It's so important not to put a crack in that foundation. Don't do it. Don't put the crack in that foundation, because it will eventually crumble. Now, on the flip side, a very, very good friend of mine, who is extremely successfully and happily married, her husband stepped out. And of course, they went through the motions. She went through the hurt, the pain, all that stuff. And, he went through, the works of bettering himself. And, 10 years later, they're happier than ever. And I asked her, we were at lunch like a month ago, and I asked her, I said, okay, I get that you forgive him, but do you think that a woman can truly get to a point where she forgives and it literally leaves her mind, her body, and her soul, and never ever have that thing rotting on her, pun intended, have that thing rotting, in God, in her mind? she said, Kizzy, you know what? In all honesty, don't get me wrong. At first, listen, you're going to bring it up all the time. You're going to want to just, you might even have some, some things and thoughts in your head. Should I get him back? Should I not get him back? Like all these different things are going to start to come into play, when he doesn't answer the phone. Is he doing it again? But she was like, truly, 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 if both people put the work in, but most importantly, both people take it to God and work on it from there. Still want to take some time, but you're right. You cannot bring it back up. You cannot bring it back up. When you start having these feelings, you take it to God and have these conversations with God. He will walk with you accordingly. And but that man as well, he himself not only have to get right with his wife or his spouse, he needs to get right with God one-on-one. Because see, sometimes when you have a relationship with God, before you do something like that, you're condemned spiritually. So sometimes our flesh is not enough. The fact that, okay, I love my spouse, or because I don't want to hurt them. Sometimes it's just not enough. Listen, this world have changed. It's so much temptation out here. And if you're not to a point where your flesh is literally tamed and crucified, it's a chance you can fall victimized. There's a lot of temptation out here. And men, I need you guys to know it's not only you. Like, we women get hit on all the time, like all day, every day, at Walmart, the gas stations, social media. Like, they're on us heavy. So don't think now that you're the only one dealing with temptation. But, it starts, with just being aligned and spiritually aligned. And then, of course, having that respect for your partner, because you don't want your partner out here looking fool up. But so she helped me to understand that it could work. Now, for me, that would have to be, my husband. And I've never been married. I turned down two different engagements. I was about to say 3, but 2 was the same person. Because I know that wasn't the person that God had designed for me. I wasn't just going to accept a proposal and get married to say that I'm married. I'm not doing that. But it made me, hopefully that's not something that I would ever experience, but a lot of tips that she gave me. And, she's very shy and meek and quiet. I'm the all in your face type personality. And I told her I wanted to interview her on that topic. And, she's willing, I think. So when all of this is over, I'm going to interview her on that topic, because I think it will be so helpful to some people to know that you can recover from it. It's hard, I'm sure, but you can recover from it. If you really believe, you're with the person that God has designed for you. If they stepped out, they hurt you. I'm not making any excuses, but we're human. But you can recover from it. I just personally can't give you that advice, honey, because your girl need prayers in that area. Because listen, I'm going straight have a flashback and choke you out in your sleep, honey. Literally hit you with your phone, with your shoe, and everything else. I'm not there yet. Keep praying for me. Your girl's in the process. But I think, because she's had success in that area, I think it can be so beneficial to help save our marriages out here, to know that, at the end of the day, we're human. But, so you guys, let me know. Have you been cheated on? Have you were able to continue the relationship or the marriage and have success in it? Or are you like me, who honey, you got to still need some more prayers in that area?